Alright, so it has been a long time since I changed the strings on my Ibanez. It has been about 2 or 3 years, and I'm changing the strings now because the usual reason, because my high E string broke. So I have some new strings, Elixirs. I've been using Elixirs for a long time. They stay bright a long time. When I first started playing guitar, I didn't ever change my strings because for some reason they didn't break. But when I finally did change my strings the first time, I noticed a huge improvement in the sound and the brightness and overall clarity. So I was like, oh, this is unbelievable. Well, since I've started using Elixirs, I haven't noticed that drastic of a change as often because they stay sounding really good for a really long time. So this time I went with 11s. I usually play 10s, but I've been down tuning the Ibanez quite a bit. So I'm going to try for 11s and see if that gives me a little more string tension when I'm tuned down. It's typically tuned down to drop B or C, depending on what I'm playing. And I have gone as low as drop A, and it gets pretty floppy in drop A. So yeah, these are 11 to 49s. What I want to do is see if there's a difference. I've had these strings on there for a couple years now, to see how big of a difference there is, because these ones are Elixirs as well. I believe they're 10s. See if there's any total difference, but most of all, see since those are so old, see if it brightens the sound up again. So let's find out. Oh, before I do, before we change them, I'm going to play a little bit with my newer amp, Orange Micro Terror. Alright, so the volume has to be a little down low because of sleeping children, but here's a little testing. As you can tell, since these are 10s, there's quite a bit of string buzz because it's just low tension. I haven't set it up for that because I like the low action, and typically with that amount of gain you can't really tell the difference. You know, you can't, at least I can't, when the strings are buzzing a little bit. So, alright, well, let's get to it. We'll start changing the strings. So I've always found that it's best to dust your guitar, because mine gets really dusty. Dust it while the strings are off. That way it's easy access to everything, and you don't have to worry about trying to get under some pesky strings or anything like that. Also, I found that some of my tuners were loose, and so I just took a screwdriver and tighten them up a bit. I'm always afraid that the E string is going to break. It's going to fly back and it's going to stab me in the eye. Feels nice to have 6 strings again. It's been 5 strings for far too long. Yeah, so I can tell that there's more twang in the strings. They feel like new strings, but they don't sound that much different than the other ones. That just goes to show how well elixirs are made, that I can have the same strings for 2 or 3 years and they still sound good enough that I didn't need to change them. I didn't need to change them, but I did because I needed that E string. So they're still stretching in, still staying in pretty good tune. So let's play the same song we played last time and see if we can hear any difference. Yeah, so without going back and reviewing the tape, I think not that much difference. Acoustically, I can hear a difference because the strings are still rubbing against some of the frets. The ring against the fret is brighter than the old strings were. So I can hear that acoustically. And I think I can hear also something through the amp as well. It just sounds a little brighter, and it was sounding a little dull, but not that bad. I could have just done that too. So far, so good. They didn't really have to stretch all that much. I'm surprised. Usually I have to wiggle and they get out of tune pretty quickly, but these ones, I don't know. Maybe it's because I don't have them tensioned quite as much as standard tuning, which I've been, every time I put on new strings, I put it on standard tuning. But yeah, well, they're doing good. I have that high E string now. Oh yeah, I can hear the brightness now. Yeah, I'm glad I changed my strings. I guess that's a note to myself. Change strings more frequently than every 3 years. All right. Thanks. Talk to you guys later.